Hi, this is Conrad Zimmerman with FistShark Marketing. In this season of giving, we hope that you'll consider giving us a little bit of money in return for this fine podcast product that you are presently consuming. If it helps to visualize me wearing a Santa costume and ringing a bell while I say this, feel free to plant that image in your mind and head over to patreon.com/FistShark or click the big Patreon button at fistshark.com for more details on how to support the show. And thanks for listening.
Are you in there?
Yeah, what's up?
Conrad, you're not gonna believe this, but we have a very special guest coming in.
Oh, okay, all right. That's always good. Is this a new client? This is someone we're signing?
It is the one, the only. He's in the elevator right now. Bono Vox of the U2. Can you believe
Bono
it?
Vox.
Yeah, Bono Vox. Bono Vox
Uh,
he's in the elevator right now.
Look, I don't want to, disappoint you or, lower your expectations for what this meeting is going to be like or anything. But we have not had the best track record when it comes to our Bono Vox meetings and being able to sign him. And Jim, it's a real sticking point with Jim. And sometimes he comes into the office and pretends to be Bono Vox to sort of raise his self-esteem about not having been able to sign him up to now.
Are you? I mean, but you don't know. This might be the actual Bono Vox.
It might be, but I mean, it's
Do they know it's Christmas every day? Oh, dear ladies and gentlemen of the FistShark Marketing, it's me, Bono Vox, here to say hello.
Oh my god! And did you hear that, Conrad? That is Bono Vox. That is Bono Vox.
I stand corrected. I had my doubts. I really did. I thought it was just but what a pleasure to finally get to meet you, Mr. Vox.
You must be to Conrad Reardon. I've heard so much about you from Jim, who signed me up for definite reels this time.
Well, that's so thrilling. So then did you want to come in and talk about a project today?
Oh, like you would not. Do you mind if I take a seat?
Oh, please, yes, sit down.
I'm gonna
get comfortable.
Sit down over here, Peaky Blinders. I've got a great idea for a show that I want to do. Now, I don't know if you young'uns remember, back in the 80s, I did a show with the Bob Geldof called The Live Aid, which was
yes.
for Christmas to raise money for all of the poor people in the world who don't know it's Christmas every day.
Right. Yes, I certainly do remember your Live Aid performance.
Do you remember when I sung, do they know it's Christmas now?
I do remember that.
Bono, Mr. Vox, is it okay if I tape record these singing sessions?
You know what? I'm a bit embarrassed because I'm not always confident in my singing ability, even though it's sold so many records. But
you are incredible. I just want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so sorry. How rude of me, Bono Vox. This is Paul Sincere.
Paul Sincere. Do you mind if I call you Paul?
Sure. You can call me.
Aye, that's grand. It's just I know a Paulson, and he recently changed his name to The Edge.
I had no idea. Like The Edge from your band, the U2?
No, a different one.
Oh, well, still.
So let me tell you about my idea, Peaky Blinders. I want to do something for Christmas, but I want it to be bigger and better than even the Live Aid. Mostly because it's just gonna star me, and I won't have to share the spotlight with Midge no more. I wanted to go on to... Have you heard of the thing called the Netflix now?
Oh, sure. The video streaming service. They produce their own original content. So you want to try and create some sort of programming for Netflix?
I want a fucking Netflix show. You know that Bill Murray has a very Murray Christmas?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, I did hear about that.
That's on to Netflix now. But I want my own Netflix Christmas show called A Very Bono Christmas.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't see any problem with that. That sounds like something Netflix would jump right on. What kind of do you want to make it get all your celebrity friends to come and join the show?
I'm gonna get all my celebrity friends on. I'm gonna get Bob Geldof to come on. I'm gonna get Annie Lennox to come on. I'm gonna get Phil Collins to come on. I'm going to get Bono Vox to come on out the U2. It's going to be a real great show now.
I'm sorry, did you say you're going to get... You are Bono Vox.
Let me tell you about the turkey, Conrad.
Turkey, okay. All right, yep, turkey's a holiday fixture.
I'm going to cook the biggest turkey in the world. That's going to be one of the features. Cooking with the Bono Vox, where we're going to do festive Christmas dinner. I'm going to teach him how to cook... beans.
Beans at Christmas.
Baked beans. Baked beans with Annie Lennox. That's going to be one of the other features outside of the other one. That's an idea I had. Baked beans with Annie Lennox. What we're going to do is we're going to get Annie Lennox on stage. We're going to dump a big bucket of baked beans on her head. And we're going to go, how's about that?
I don't think Annie Lennox is going to go for that.
She'll love it. She's a mad bastard.
And Phil Collins isn't... He's not exactly hot right now. He
will be hot in this. We're going to do a whole piece called Hairdryers for Phil Collins, where all of my celebrity friends like Bob Geldof and Bono Vox, we're going to go run round Phil Collins really fast with hot hairdryers. And we're going to blast the hairdryers on him. And we're going to go, are you hot yet, Phil? And he's going to go, no. We're going to go, are you hot yet, Phil? He's going, no. And eventually he'll be really hot. And then when he's really hot, we're going to sit him on an ice cube and see how long it takes him to melt it. And then we get that water and we give it to Africa.
That makes sense.
It's charity as well as great Netflix television for the boys and the girls who watch television at Christmas.
So the water that came from under Phil Collins as he sat on it after...
Under his warm arse.
Well, if we wash, he's going to be blown dry, so he won't be wet with any sort of mildew.
Yeah, we're keeping that on him. You don't want a rotten Phil. Rotten Collins is bad. It gets all mouldy. You need to hang him out to dry afterwards. He likes to be air blown dry. You don't put him in a tumble dryer. He'll get crinkly.
You know a lot about Phil Collins and Bob Geldof. I'm trying to remember. Forgive me. Who is that again? Is he the...
Bob Geldof. Now... He was that man who did the songs. I think he did Tainted Love.
I remember that one.
He did. He went, oh, Tainted Love. And he was in that Pink Floyd film that I haven't seen it because I've heard it's scary. Because a man comes out of his own skin and he's got Nazi skin underneath.
Dr. Feelgood? I'm not...
That's the one I think it is,
It's a little...
Pink Floyd's Dr. Feelgood.
It's a little old for me. It's a little before my time, but it's still very exciting.
Pink Floyd's going to be in the show.
Pink Floyd,
they're going to be the house band.
Oh, like...
You're going to get Pink Floyd to be the house band for a Very Bono Christmas.
Very Bono Christmas. Who's in Pink Floyd these days? Pitbull?
The singer, the bald man.
I think it's Pitbull and Robin Thicke. They're the new Pink Floyd now, aren't they? It's like James Bond. They get different singers every few years.
I mean, we could definitely get both Pitbull and Robin Thicke to do this show. I don't think we could get Pink Floyd.
What if we call him Think Floyd?
Well, now Roger Waters might not sue us over that. Maybe.
He's a suing bastard, is that Roger Waters. You know, I once tried to call myself Bono Pink Floyd, and he was having none of it. And he went, Jim, stop calling yourself Pink Floyd. It's not on. Bono, stop calling yourself Pink Floyd.
I'm sorry.
It's not on.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said I'm sorry. I can't shake the feeling.
I can't shake this feeling when we're dancing on the ceiling. Is that what you're thinking about? One of my great songs from U2 there, Dancing on the Ceiling with a Feeling.
That must be it. I don't know. There's something really bugging me about. Okay. How about this then? Are you gonna do any actual music? Because you say you have a house band, but all I've heard so far is making baked beans with Annie Lennox and drying off Phil Collins.
Oh, you want music?
Well, I mean, that's what you're known for. It just stands to reason.
You come to the right fucking bloke, ain't you? No one knows music like me. I'm going to sing all my favourite songs. All of my most famous U2 songs. Like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more.
Okay, I'm almost 99% certain that's not a U2 song.
Oh, yes it is.
Conrad, can I talk to you for a second? You're in the corner. Conrad, if this isn't actually Bono Vox, we could get sued. I think we gotta be sure it's him. I'm beginning to suspect it's actually an imposter.
You know, I can hear you.
What?
You're talking right over the table, and I'm very offended that you're calling my legitimacy into question. Here's the proof. Famous Bono scat music.
That's Scatman John.
No, he went. I went.
No, okay, you're right. I do see the difference.
There you go.
It's convincing, but I don't remember Bono wearing a red clown wig and striped suspenders.
Well, I've got to be in disguise in case I'm up by my legion of fans, pull you idiot. You idiot.
Would you mind taking off the wig just so we could check your scalp for Bono legitimacy? It's not a big request, I don't think.
I've got head lice, and I don't want them to leap off my head into your head.
Well, it is considerate of you, but I already have head lice, so it's not a concern. Can you just move?
No, you get off me!
See?
No! Damn it!
Jim! Oh my, I can't believe this! You really had me going.
I was Bono Vox. What you don't know is that Jim and Bono have been the same person this whole time.
Like Clark Kent and Superman?
Like Clark. I am the Clark Kent to his Superman.
That's amazing.
Are you gonna believe that?
I can't even blame you at this point, Jim. Like, this is my fault. This is my fault. I knew when Paulson said Bono Vox. I knew.
We'd still do the Netflix special though, right? Gentlemen, I have potentially the most exciting project we've ever been signed up for.
That's the most exciting announcement I've heard all day. What's the project?
It's a movie contract, marketing a new movie. It's an independent film, but this has potential to be the next The Man Who Fell from Space.
Well, that's a bold statement.
It's philosophical. It asks a lot of questions. It's got some sci-fi elements to it, but it's mostly an alternate history. Now, we've all seen these alternate history films, and this one initially is very similar. If you've watched something like The Man in the High Castle or something like that, it starts off along that same route of what if the Third Reich had not lost World War II? What if Hitler had won World War II and had taken over the United States, taken over Britain, basically had won the war?
So everything is under the control of the Third Reich, effectively, in the Western world.
Yes, exactly, that nightmare scenario. I love those kinds of stories because they always make us feel, what would I do in that situation? How would you deal under the Nazi regime? But this one adds an extra twist, and this is where it gets really juicy. Because as well as asking all of those very legitimate questions, it asks a question I don't think anyone else has ever dared to ask, let alone have the stones to answer. So here's the premise. Hitler takes over the United States of America, seizes control of Hollywood, and in the mid-90s, he writes, directs, and produces Meet the Parents, starring Ben Stiller. And it's really good.
What?
Whoa. Back up. You mean to tell me... I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, because my mind's been blown.
I realize
right?
it's a heavy concept.
Hitler makes a good Meet the Parents film. Like, it's funny.
It's funny. It's even a little poignant at times. It's got, some real nice romantic comedy moments. People love it. It actually wins an Oscar, like one of the very first goofy comedies to win an Oscar. Or as they're called in this universe, the Wilhelms. And yeah, that's the general premise of the film is, what if Hitler made a good Meet the Parents?
So that's a big leap of faith to take, that there could be a movie like that, a Meet the Parents movie that is good. But
already, not even Philip K. Dick kind of pushed our imagination that much.
Is there going to be a lot of supporting factors to show that this is a believable Hitler? Are there going to be death camps? Are there going to be fascist seeking out of undesirables and killing them off? Is there going to be evil?
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of films already cover that ground.
It's well-worn.
It's well-worn territory. This film obviously touches on some of that, but really is focused on this idea that Adolf Hitler, the Führer, made a fantastic Meet the Parents movie and has a really good script in mind for Meet the Fuckers.
So most of the movie, from what you're saying, paints Hitler as just a very good filmmaker. Is that right?
It paints this universe's version of Hitler as a very good filmmaker, and therefore brings to light the question, what if Hitler was a very good filmmaker? It's not a question we've ever dared ask, but it changes some of the most, shall we say, cliche hypotheticals. This is a film that doesn't ask, if you could, would you go back in time and murder Adolf Hitler as a baby? This is the film that asks, if you could, would you go back in time and murder Adolf Hitler as a baby, knowing full well he'd make a really good Meet the Parents film.
Ooh. Yeah.
Would you go back in time and stop What is worth a Meet the Parents film that's enjoyable? What would you lay on the line? What would you give of yourself? What would you personally sacrifice? These are the questions, and I'm not saying the film answers them. That's for the audience to go home and think about. But what is worth a good Meet the Parents film? I don't know, and I'm not sure if I'm yet in a place where I could answer that. I watched the film very recently. It's very raw. It's very emotional. It's going to debut at Cannes in the near future. And I guess I've just been so emotionally drawn in by this. I'm still wrapping my head around the idea of a good Meet the Parents film, let alone the bombshell that Hitler made it.
You always hear that, would you go back in time and kill Hitler? Of course you would, but with this revelation?
With this hot potato burning in our hands?
I honestly don't know what I would do.
I left the test showing wondering if we did the right thing in this world now.
You mean, did we do the right thing by watching Meet the Parents, or living our lives in a Meet the Parents world?
Either. Who's the real monster? When you look at the Meet the Parents we have.
It begs the question, should we go back in time and kill the writer and director of Meet the Parents?
Or Ben Stiller.
We could go back in time and kill Ben Stiller. This is true. Is there, in your movie, in the Hitler is a good maker of movies movie, is there a character who wants to kill Hitler? Or is it just him making a movie? Is that all you see in the
You're asking if there is a resistance to Hitler in the Hitlerverse.
Yeah, like maybe, I think it was Jay Roach, maybe? He's married to one of the Bengals, who actually made Meet the Parents in our reality? Is he the antagonist, or is there any antagonist?
Not quite. Now, the director, Jean-Paul Herendals, again, wanted to focus very much on high themes. There's actually very few characters in the film. It's mostly just footage of the film being filmed. There's obviously no footage of the Meet the Parents, because in this universe it's impossible to have, even falsify convincing good footage of Meet the Parents. But we see the bits of it being filmed. We see Ben Stiller on set having a giggle with Adolf and everything. We see the reception when the film comes out. We see the success. We see, several wars ended in a united appreciation of this film.
Ooh, yeah, that does make it...
I mean, it just paints this world of what kind of better world would we have if Meet the Parents had been good? That's ultimately the question that gets asked. The Hitler stuff, the Third Reich, all of this is just window dressing at this point for the real message of the film, which is, is man a monster? What has Ben Stiller done?
Sorry, I lost it. Yeah. So that's going to be on the posters. Is man a monster? What has Ben Stiller done? And the name of the movie? Is it called Hitler's Meet the Parents? Or Hitler's... what is the movie called?
At the moment, and this is where, we're going to have to put our marketing heads together. At the moment, it's called... What if Hitler had not died and made Meet the Parents, but get this, Meet the Parents was really good, brackets, in this universe that is fictional, close brackets.
It kind of lays it all out.
It's a little on the nose for a film that's actually this subtle, which might be the point. I mean, Jean-Paul Herendals is known to play with the medium, even beyond the films themselves. Maybe the poster itself is an irony. You never know with Jean-Paul Herendals.
Yeah, he's very talented, but I can't. I can't. I feel like it needs to be something a little catchier.
Yeah.
Like with that Fiona Apple album, she kept the full title. What would the man do with the gun if he was under the table eating the cheese, and then he finds a rabbit, and then he eats the rabbit too? But she shortened that to "Eat My Rabbit," which was great.
Eat My Rabbit.
Eat My
so
Rabbit.
We should call the film "Meet the Hitler."
Meet the Hitler. That's
good, yeah? Excellent.
Yeah.
This is going to be as successful as the film Jean-Paul did about that time Pol Pot wrote a really good Twilight.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Paul Sincere. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alizar Chan. Our editor is Alan Smithy. Get more episodes and learn how to help support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, Santa Claus is how we prepare our children for state surveillance. Goodbye.